Kept you waiting, huh?
Stop!
Does bro think he Limp Bizkit?
Guys, we cannot be copyright struck by Steve YouTube on the first video back in 4 months. Who's Steve YouTube? This is Steve YouTube.
Hi, Steve YouTube.
Alright, that's enough horsing around. Or is it? What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about magic, and not the kind that saws women in half. Side note, magicians, you better stop. You better stop sawing women in half. Because I will get you. I will end you. I will eat your fucking head. I started playing Magic sometime last year. I was walking around Target and I found this Foundations box. And I was like, I'm a big nerd. Magic's for big nerds. Let me be an even bigger nerd and play Magic. So I bought it, took it home, watched like a 10-minute video on how to play, made a 60-card mono black deck. And my friend Kyle made a 60-card mono green deck. And we started playing very wrong. I don't know if we actually knew anything while we were playing for like the 4 months that we played before we switched over to Commander and went to the local game store. But this story's not about my beginning, my origin. The story's about the first time I went to a pre-release for Magic the Gathering. The first set that I really remember getting into was Spider-Man, and I know that not very many people like that because not only did it push Lorwyn back, but it also had a lot of really unnecessary like legends, and it just didn't feel all that thought out. I think it was really fun to draft, but actually playing it in Commander is kind of difficult, to be honest. But I do have a lot of friends that really enjoyed Spider-Man, like my friend Matt.
All right, here's my honest opinion of the Spider-Man set, right? So as far as like cards go, they were great. Well, some. It just depended on what people were looking for from the set. I think they came out with a lot of multicolored cards. I know that they were definitely going for more of the spider theme, especially with the Wooburg Cosmic Spider-Man. It was super cool. I know a lot of people wanted to build that, and it was great. But I hardly see any of them ever played. I usually see like a Fantastic or was it the Spider-Man that costs 1 and a white. You know, it's good utility to sacrifice for indestructible creatures, and you know, it's cool. But beyond that, I think everyone was just mostly looking for the Spider-Man reprints. You know, the Reanimate, Wedding Ring. You know, there was Opposition Agent. Super cool arts. Skitherix, I know, got a lot of Venom arts. A lot of people were going for Venom and just particularly Spider-Man, but not much else. You know, they had a lot of potential with the set becoming more of a Commander theme. Overall, out of like 10, if I were to scale it, for me, like a solid 6 out of 10. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. It was in the middle. Could have been a lot better if they made it into a Commander format, but they didn't. But overall, meh set. You know, it was okay.
And my friend Kyle also had some thoughts on Spider-Man.
It was pretty cool. Web slinging was a fun mechanic. My main problem with it was just the amount of legends that basically just did nothing. Like, why would I want to build like a deck out of a creature that just gave another creature flying for 1 turn? Another thing is, I feel like it would have been received better if it wasn't a standard set. It was just like a couple of precons or a supplemental set. Like, if they designed a 5 precons out of the transferable creature cycle, that would have been pretty cool.
Before the pre-release even started, I saw a bunch of spoilers and knew that I wanted a black and green deck, and thankfully I pulled a bunch of cards in that color combo. But I also pulled Kitsune's Technique, so I was like, man, I really got to put some blue in here, so I splashed some in. This was my first time ever doing pre-release, so I didn't really know what I was doing. So thankfully next to me was Kyle, and across from me was this guy that had been playing for a really long time that only comes to the store for pre-releases. So they were able to help me build a really nice deck. I focused on flyers and Death Touch with a couple of counter spells in there, and then obviously Kitsune's Technique. When I saw it the first time, the full deck put together, I was like, dang, this would be really powerful. Like, I'm really excited. I bet nobody else is going for flyers. Little did I know, flyers were going to be my biggest issue. So the paper comes out that says who my first opponent's going to be, and I go and sit down and I meet him, and he seems really chill. He's an older guy, probably like late 50s, and so I'm like, okay, this guy's probably kind of experienced. And so I ask him, how long you been playing? And he says, I knew the creators when they were making the game. What that means. So we start up the first game, and pretty early on, I get a bunch of damage in. You know, I'm getting a lot of heavy hitters. I get him down to 7 health while I haven't even taken 1 hit. And then he pulls out this guy. He then proceeded to whoop my fucking ass for 3 games. We could have stopped after 2. He already won. By the end of it, I looked like that fucking picture of the baby all. Also, something important to note is I wasn't just playing for fun. I paid $35 just to get in there, and every time you won a match, you won a free booster pack. So I wasn't just playing for fun. I was playing to gamble, baby. So with 1 loss and 2 more matches lined up, I knew I had to go hard or go home. In my second match, I played against a guy who missed pretty much every single land drop, which really sucked for him because he only played big creatures. I was able to secure a win really quickly with that. But even then, he still put up a really good fight, and so it was a lot of fun. And, you know, I did win, but I didn't just stomp on him. It was a lot of fun. So with 1 loss and 1 win, I headed to the last match of the night. It was against this girl, Ruby, who I had played casually with a couple of times before. And she is kind of known for not taking losing well. And that did play into what happened. If you've never been to a pre-release before, it's best of 2, and they're 45 minutes long per match. And so usually with my other matches, it got down to like the last 5 minutes. It was kind of a nail biter, like, oh my God, are we even going to have time? But by the time that I got done with my third match, there was still 35 minutes left. I had completely wrecked her shit in just 10 minutes. And she was not too happy about it. Partway just into the first round, she just kind of stopped talking to me. And I thought that was hilarious. When I beat her in the first 10 minutes of the round, we just kind of had to sit there for the next 35 minutes. But thankfully, Kyle was next to me, so I was able to listen in on his match and how it was going. And he did pretty good. Yeah, he got a win. So he was able to get a booster pack. I got 2 booster packs. And he was able to pull a borderless Rat King Verminister, and he gave it to me. So I was able to build it, which has been a very annoying deck to play against. But it is pretty fun to play. It's just Rat Colony over and over again. And I got Krang and Shredder from there too. That's been a really fun deck to play. It's just blinking Krang and Shredder over and over again. It's like a Demir Atali, but much worse. One thing that I was really happy about was that Kitsune's technique popped up at least once per person. So I was able to make them mill half their library with only 2 mana. And it genuinely had them looking at me like that Kurt Angle meme. But yeah, first pre-release went super well. Can't wait for Strixhaven. That's it for this video. See you guys next year.